Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi and here I like to talk about luxury beauty, and today we are talking about one of my favorite things in the entire world, the Dries Van Noten lipsticks. So I do have a video from the first four that I picked up along with the fragrance sample and everything that I purchased at that time. This is an update video. So these are still like one of the best lipsticks in my opinion. I bought more. So we're going to swatch all of the ones I have. But first, let's take a quick look at fragrances. So Dries Van Noten does have fragrance sets on their website that you can purchase. I had originally purchased one of the smaller fragrance sets. It was a sampler set. There were two of them and you could, they were kind of divided by categories, right? But they also have a full-size one. It was just out of stock when I made my original purchase. When you purchase a fragrance sampler set, you do get a voucher for, I believe it was $40 off of a full price bottle. So I redeemed that for Neon Garden. So this is actually what I'm wearing today. This is the Mint and Iris fragrance. All of the fragrances are, unisex, and they were developed by walking through Dries Van Noten's garden. He is an avid gardener and he wanted the best fragrances. And if you are familiar with his work, he really likes to kind of shake things up. So he actually hired perfumers to come to his garden. And that's kind of where they develop things. So it wasn't all like done in a lab. I mean, obviously they had to go back to a lab and develop things, but everything is based off of these and his fragrances. These two, I believe this one was 89% natural ingredients, derived from 89% natural ingredients. Whereas the other one that I have, Chantecaille Greenery, is 90%. So, that's just a little nod to, how these were developed. I think the actual process was really cool. And it was a very time-consuming process as well. So just a little bit about Neon Garden. This is considered elegant and joyful. The top notes here are a duo of spearmint and peppermint. We have heart notes of carrot heart and iris accord, and the base is musk and ambroxan. So I personally love these. This was actually, my daughter smelled all of the fragrances with me. This was their number one pick. It's just, it's minty but fresh, but you don't smell like a stick of gum or anything like that. It smells more like if you are walking through like a garden with a lot of mint. I particularly smell plenty of spearmint, which I love smelling fresh spearmint. Personally, I buy a plant every summer and keep it on my deck just because I love that fragrance. It smells like you're walking through a garden with that note in it. So it's not like straight up mint. I just think it's a really beautiful fragrance. I'm not a huge fragrance person, but for me, these smell more complex than other fragrances. They smell more unique. And that's why I really love the ones that he has created so far. And my top two would be that one, Neon Garden, and Chantecaille Greenery. And I think this is actually my number one. This is Fig and Chantecaille. Top notes are bergamot and grapefruit. Heart notes are violet leaves and a creamy fig accord with a base of sandalwood and white musk. Now, just a little bit about the bottles. All of his bottles have kind of this two-tone look. All of the bottles come in like an FSC certified pulp paper mold to keep the bottles intact during shipping. If you purchase from his website, you also get like a gorgeous little bag. Let me show you those. So here's one of them. This is the one that my Neon Garden came in. The bags are actually made from fabric that is left over from the fashion shows. So, you're going to get a different one like every time. It's not going to be a set like pattern or anything like that. So this one here, Neon Garden, that's the one that I purchased directly from the US website, and that's how it came packaged. And again, I used my voucher from the Dries Van Noten sampler set. Heads up, if you want to purchase multiple sampler sets, let's say you try set number one and then you want to try set number two and get another voucher, you can't do that. It's only one voucher per customer, regardless of the number of sets that you purchase. At least at the time of this recording, that is currently how they are doing it. So Selfridges just recently, launched Dries Van Noten on their site, and the fragrances are significantly cheaper there. So on the Dries Van Noten website, one bottle, it has 100 milliliters, and it is $280. The Selfridges website, I forget what it was, but I want to say it was significantly cheaper. It was cheaper than the voucher, something like $220, $230. So it was definitely a better deal to buy from the Selfridges website. So I picked that up. I also want to mention the refills. So this bottle here, you can kind of see better on the Neon Garden. You can see the liquid in here. This bottom portion I don't think is really holding liquid. It looks like this extends down just a little bit. But because of that, the bottles are a little bit more top heavy. This bottom piece, it feels like plastic. I don't believe it is technically all plastic, based off of some things I've read on the website, but I didn't see exactly what it's made out of. But you can see this is glass. You kind of have a cap here that is, kind of like an aged metal kind of look, and you pull that off. So when you purchase the refill is actually 200 milliliters. So the refill retails for $330. I have not seen it available at Selfridges. I've only seen it on the Dries Van Noten website, but you're getting twice the amount of product. So the refill will come in a round glass bottle, and it also comes with a funnel and a key that you will attach to this to remove it safely so you don't break it. And again, that's essentially 2 refills at a time that you're purchasing. So just to note, when you get that instead, the glass bottle is kind of like a plain glass bottle, but it will have like a paper packaging that matches the appearance of the bottle. So just something to know. It's actually, if you love a fragrance and you want 2 refills at once, that's actually a pretty good opportunity. But they are fairly large size bottles. So if you order from the Dries Van Noten website, it's worth noting that you always get to pick a couple of fragrance samples with each order. So I believe it's 2 free samples per order. And so if you get the smaller set, you can often, at least I was able to smell all of the other fragrances just with the orders that I placed on the website. Now let's take a look at the lipsticks, because let's face it, that's why we are all here today. The lipsticks are incredible. These are, probably my #1 favorite lipstick now at this point. These, and there are a couple others that are kind of right up there in the top. I love these because I feel like the nuances of the colors are a little bit more unique than your traditional lipstick that you're going to purchase at like a department store or something. I also love the cases. So here is the case. And just so you know, you can purchase the cases separately and the refills separately. On the Dries Van Noten website, when I placed my first order, I was able to purchase the cases separately. At the moment, it doesn't seem to be an option. You can purchase the refill, or you can purchase a refill and a case together for $78. The refills are $40. Now, just for reference, the cases on Selfridges are, I believe it was $32.50. So they are slightly less expensive, but the overall product is not like a huge price difference like it is with the fragrances. So when you get the refill, you get this here, which has your little temporary cap. This is your base. You're going to take this off. Notice this just spins. It doesn't clip in. And then you have this. So if you really want to use the refill on your own, you can stick your finger in there and wind it up. I was unable to get a case for this one, so I'm still missing a case. I have to place another order. They were out when I ordered the rest of them. But when you take a look at these actual cases, there's a top piece and a bottom piece. The top piece has the logo on it. The bottom piece is just brushed gold. And you can see though that they both have kind of like this plastic insert. This one, the plastic insert goes up and down, whereas this one, it does a little bit too. You've got like 4 little sections that it goes down in, but you can see this, you have a smaller circle in the center. That's gonna be your bottom, and that's where this will clip in. You still have this kind of clip here in the lid to make a secure fit with the top of it. So you will hear a click closure both when inserting the actual refill and every time you close this. So these are weighty, and this is one of your combinations. You can see you've got, there are 4 different combinations. Again, you're gonna have dual patterns. Let me show you what the 4 cases look like before I mixed and matched. All right, so these are your 4 case options. You have this one here, which has this orange and kind of this black, like reptile print at the top. This one here, you have another more like leopard animal style print with neon yellow. You have this one, which is my favorite, which you've got kind of this orange marbled, like a marbled paint kind of look, along with more of a classic blue ceramic. And then you have this one here, which has more of like this red snake print and this emerald and black green, swirled print here. So you can mix and match these, but again, one is designated as a bottom and one is designated as a top. So you'll need to keep that in mind when you are mixing and matching. But that is what I'm doing so I can tell all of my colors apart, because one thing to note here is they do have the product labeled on the side here. However, when you snap it in, you can't see it. So when your product is in a case, you cannot see what the product number is at that time, what shade number is. So just something to note there. So we're gonna start off with some arm swatches here, and I'm actually going to break them up into categories. There are 4 finishes for the lipsticks. So you can have mattes, which is what we're starting with. And you can see I have some residual staining. I'm putting the exact same color in the exact same place where this was. This is from filming a reel with these. So there won't be any like contamination essentially from a different product. So we have mattes, there are satins, and there are sheer lip products here. There's also a balm, a translucent balm, which it's been unavailable for quite a while. I'm not sure if it was ever available. This one here is 80 Latin Carmine, and again, we are in the mattes here. The mattes have a 12-hour wear time, and I have to say they really do last all day for me. This here is 75 Crafted Red. And they're very comfortable on the lips. That's what I really love about this formula. This one here is 70 Punk Vermilion. And on my lips right now, I have Crafted Red kind of along the corners and Punk Vermilion all over. So that's what I'm wearing right now. You can see that Crafted Red is gonna be more of a true neutral red. We've got Latin Carmine, which is a deep purple, essentially. You've got some eggplant in, a little berry. And then this one here, Punk Vermilion, I think this is probably one of the most unique shades in the line. It's the most unique one that I have. It is like a pink with coral, like a little bit of a neon pink with some coral in it. It's really interesting. This one here is 15 Tailored Nude. So you can see it's going to be a cooler tone brown. And there are some faint hints of plum in there. But these are the 4 mattes that I have. And again, these are going to have a 12-hour wear. They are very pigmented, so they will leave a stain on your lips as the kind of the emollient texture starts to wear off. They're creamy going on, but not really wet creamy. It's more so just very smooth, and they glide on easily. These have rosehip oil and mango butter in them. Moving on to our satins. And one of the reasons I mentioned the ingredients for the mattes is because each of the formulas are slightly different. The satins are meant for all day wear, and they have rosehip oil and shea butter. This one here is 99 Favorite Red. You can see that it is going to be a little bit cooler in tone, has a touch more burgundy in it than the Crafted Red up here. This is 60 Revised Pink, and this is kind of like your true carnation pink. If you were to take the Crayola carnation pink crayon and just make that color slightly more intense, this is what you have. It kind of reminds me of a Barbie pink. This is 90 Ottoman Brown, And I love this shade. You can see it's not really a straight up brown. It's actually more plummy. It's kind of like mauve with a touch of brown in it. It is a beautiful shade. I think this is going to be perfect for the fall, but I can definitely see this being like an everyday shade for people as well. And then my last satin here is 14 Romantic Nude. This is one of the new ones I purchased, and wow, it's going to be a favorite. I love this one. You can see this is going to be lighter in pigmentation. This is going to be nude with a touch of a rosy pink in there. So there's a little bit of pink in this brown, but it still is a bit more of a browner shade. All right, and now let's move on to the sheer lipsticks. So these have 12-hour hydration, and they have rosehip oil and apricot butter. This one here is number 5, Graphic Ochre. And these, as I mentioned, the ingredients are slightly different for all 3 formulas. All 3 of them have rosehip oil, but again, the mattes are going to have mango butter, and the satins have shea butter, and these have apricot butter. This is my last one here. This is number 3, Silent Nude. And I wear this one a ton, but I think I might like Graphic Ochre, maybe even a little bit better. But honestly, these I just wear all the time. This is I usually put on a light coating of this throughout the day, but you can see here that Graphic Ochre it's kind of like a rosy brown shade, but more of a burnt rose. And then Silent Nude is going to be a sheer nude, like with a touch of brown, but there's a little bit of pink in there. And on my lips, I definitely see a little, like while I'm wearing it, it definitely looks a little bit more pink than the swatch, partially because my lip color is able to shine through. So let's talk a little bit about how these lipsticks perform throughout the day. As I mentioned, the mattes are supposed to have a 12-hour wear. I definitely see the 12-hour wear. Honestly, the stain will remain on my lips past the 12-hour mark if I want to touch it up. And either with lipstick or clear balm or gloss or something, I still have color on my lips. But these are not transfer proof. So you will see color come off as you are eating and drinking throughout the day. However, your lips still look fantastic. So, I'm wearing the mattes right now. I can go eat a meal, drink, and they're still gonna look this fresh. So that's one of the things I really love about these. Another thing, mattes are not typically my favorite formula. I do love some velvet lipsticks, like the Givenchy velvets, the deep velvets and the sheer velvets are incredible. Those are another one of my favorite lipstick formulas. But typically I find mattes to be a little bit drying to my lips, and so I don't really wear them too often. I'll wear them more like when I'm wearing a red lip, because I think, there's not as much like bleeding or feathering throughout the day. So that being said, I love these mattes. I think these are fantastic. They perform really well, and I don't have to worry about them migrating on my lips throughout the day. They really kind of, they don't set, it's not like it's setting and it's transfer proof. There will still be a little bit of that emollient texture, but I don't have to worry about it migrating onto the skin surrounding my lips or anything like that. And they're very comfortable. I can wear these day after day without my lips drying out. So they're one of the most comfortable matte formulas that I have ever used. I really love these. So honestly, I kind of don't even want to use mattes from other brands. These and the Givenchy, and that's kind of it for me. I haven't really found any that I love that much. And yes, I know somebody is going to ask in the comments about the Lisa Eldridge. I think these are better personally. I think the Givenchy are better personally as well. Hers can be a little bit drying on me. So I find these to be more comfortable. As for the satins, I love the satin formula. Most of the shades are, they're pretty opaque. You can put the satin on in a light coat and have it be a little bit less pigmented, but in general, they're all pretty opaque and pretty pigmented shades. So the color you think you're getting is the color you're going to get. It's not something that's sheer and buildable. And you can see in the lip swatches when I put one on, just that first initial coat, that's pretty much the color you're gonna get. It builds up a little bit, but not significantly. I find these to be incredibly comfortable as well. I really love these. I think the formula on these is fantastic as well. I think, though, a lot of companies make really great satin lipsticks, so I don't see as much of a drastic difference in how these perform compared to satin lipsticks from other brands. However, I really love them. Now, they have all day wear and comfort. I wouldn't say that the color necessarily lasts all day. Again, with the deeper shades, you'll have that pigmentation that remains on your lips, just like you do with the mattes. But, it's wears like a typical satin lipstick. I feel like these have slightly better wear. The colors will last a little bit longer than your traditional satin lipstick. But I wouldn't say all day. You're going to want to top it off. And again, you will have pigment remaining on the deeper shades though. So that's easy to do. Really love these. As you can see, there are more that I plan on getting in the fall, by the way. And then moving on to the sheer formula. I love the sheer formula. The Silent Nude was the first one I picked up. It's very light. It doesn't provide a ton of color, but it's enough, especially if you're going for, a lighter makeup look. It's something that I keep with me and reapply throughout the day because it's just easy to use. And the Silent Nude in particular is light enough that I don't have to worry about, colors mixing if I'm topping off another lipstick and so forth with it. I love it. However, Graphic Ochre is new for me. I think I love that shade even more. I think it's just perfect on its own. I absolutely love it. You can see it's more pigmented than Silent Nude, and it's just this really beautiful shade, and I think it's really unique. When I heard the name Graphic Ochre, this is not the shade that I was expecting, and I love it. So if we are looking at all of the shades, I would have to say that my favorites are probably going to be, probably these bottom, well, it's really hard. It's really hard to narrow down a favorite. I really love all of these for different things. The only two that I don't love quite as much would be the Latin Carmine, only because of my complexion. I think it's a stunning color, but I just don't pull it off as well as other people do. So that one I don't use as much. And then the Revised Pink, I actually really love this mix with Silent Nude, but I don't wear it on its own as often. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can pick just one or even just three. I think they are stunning. And this Punk Vermilion I find to be a really unique shade. So overall, I think these are fantastic. I definitely want to pick up more. And I do plan on, if he expands the case range and the color range, I'm definitely getting more. So these are fantastic. If you've tried these, I'd love to know. So let me know down below in the comments. And again, these are currently available on the Dries Van Noten website and at Selfridges. And they are a little bit less expensive at Selfridges than Dries Van Noten. So again, though, you get that pretty little bag from the Dries Van Noten website. You're not going to get that from Selfridges. So just, think about where you'd like to purchase if you have options. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I'd love to know what your favorite shade is and if you've tried any of these. So let me know and I will see you very soon. Have a wonderful day.